And I honestly hope you guys enjoyed the Blucifer 2.0 journey with me. A lot of people, their first time ever doing something of this caliber, I can guarantee you it wasn't filmed. Oh! Get this disconnected. Ow. And this bad boy's over here. Oh, and don't mind that, you know. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to DerekBaranProductions for another video. Thank you all so much for tuning back into the channel. And today, it is the day, guys. We are gonna be starting the teardown on Blucifer here. And as you can see, we have everything set up. And yeah, I got my work cut out for me today, that's for sure. As you all may already know, we are starting a new chapter with Blucifer here. We've been rocking the VMP Gen3R for the last 2 years, and it has been an absolute blast on this car. It's been a riot, and truthfully, it's a nasty blower setup. When I ended up picking up my 2020 10-speed Coyote, you know, the gears in my head started turning, and I always have been in love with a Century style blower on a car. I used to have a Vortec V3 SI setup on my new Edge, and so I figured it would make the most sense to go ahead and convert Blucifer into a Century card setup with our Paxton Novi 2200 SL kit. With this getting the Paxton, I figured it would have been perfect to go ahead and boost Hades, my 2020, with a VMP positive displacement setup to really make some power. And as you guys have seen, we take Hades to the track, and I just want to see what we can run out of that car. But when it comes to Blucifer on today's episode, we definitely have a lot of work to get done. To many, it might not be much, but to me, I am going to be tackling this whole project by myself, and it's kind of exciting and it's kind of scary at the same time. When I officially decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on the Paxton setup for this car, I kind of like hyped myself up because I have no reason to have this car done within a week. And you know, winter time's here. I still have Hades to drive, to film with, and I figured that it's the perfect opportunity to go and actually dive into this car by myself and put myself to the test, one, and two, actually have an understanding of what I will be driving / owning. And I think that breaking down this car, stripping it of the Gen3R setup, and installing the Paxton as much as I possibly can by myself is gonna be like a learning experience, to say the least. I've never done anything of this caliber. I've helped people, I guess. I don't even know if you'd really call it help. And yeah, I'm openly admitting it. I'm not a super mechanic type dude. My patience are very, very thin. I get mad very easily, and it just boils down to not really taking the time to learn, to teach myself, and you know, to mess up by myself and figure things out. So I think with this whole project, that's kind of the one thing I'm super excited about. You know, there's no rush, there's no time limit. So with having to strip everything today, you know, it should build my confidence a little bit when it comes to installing the Paxton by myself. And truthfully, what is the absolute worst that can happen? Anyway, let's go ahead and go over what's on today's agenda. Right off the bat, you can obviously tell we have 2 coolant tanks here that are completely full. One of them goes to the car's cooling, and the other goes to, you know, the heat exchanger setup and the pump, the whole blower setup. So we have to go and get those 2 drained, and then once we remove those 2 coolant tanks, it is going to free up some room. You guys are probably looking at this mess of all wiring, and yeah, you might be might have a little anxiety like myself, but when I installed the custom headlights here, and I have custom fog lights, you know, all these wiring harnesses and all this shit had to be linked into, like, you know, together. And I honestly hope you guys enjoyed the Blucifer 2.0 journey with me. You know, a lot of people, their first time ever doing something of this caliber, I can guarantee you it wasn't filmed. So I am like throwing myself out there, and I might look like an idiot to many, but you know, at the same time, this is my full-time job. I'm super blessed to do this kind of stuff. And I just think at the end of it, like the finish line with the Paxton, it's gonna be really cool to say that I legit took part in all of it. So there we go. Let's just jump right into it. Y'all gotta check out this cool little thing I bought though. Nice little headlamp. Ooh, we're in business. Check me out, ready? What you know about that? So we're underneath the car, and I see some wiring harnesses here. And I would imagine this is the fans, and this is gonna be the heat exchanger pump for sure. So we'll tackle that here in a minute, but I gotta go and get the coolant drained, and we have our plug right here. So I'm gonna grab a catch tray. We're gonna drain the radiator, and then I have to figure out if the heat exchanger has a plug. If not, we might have to get a little messy, and I'm probably just gonna start like pulling these and letting it drain out, but I don't know if the heat exchanger has an actual drain plug. I don't know which one it is, but physics and gravity are a thing. So let's pull these off. Oh. Hello? Coolant tank, number one, is completely drained. Now, what I'm thinking about doing over here for the heat exchanger one, I got a little bit of play right here. So I'm thinking about pinching this as best as I can to, hold the pressure, and I'm gonna pull it right here, drain it into there. All right, it's almost there. Oh, fuck. That's one way to fucking drain it. Can we get a slow-mo of that? Even though I just bathed in coolant, it seemed to do the trick. So both coolant tanks are emptied. Now I'm just gonna go get this coolant into the bucket, and I'm gonna work on this heat exchanger pump. And it's just a simple bracket that's connected to the crash bar. You can see the two nuts, one right there, and then nuts and bolts right here. I'm gonna get this a little lower, probably come out the pump some more. And then we can begin removing the heat exchanger. And that's just gonna be boom, boom, and boom, boom. And that heat exchanger should pull out, and then we gotta chase down the wiring. Yay, so fun. There we go. So just from dropping the pump, look how much more coolant we got out of there. So heat exchanger pump is disconnected. I'm gonna actually leave this line connected to the heat exchanger on this side, just so when they go to reinstall it, it's point blank obvious where this plugs into. So if you're watching this video, this plugs into the pump. And then I have it disconnected up top here, which means the heat exchanger is just about ready to come out, but now we have to trace this wiring harness, which Jeremy, who installed it, did a wonderful job. So check this out. VMP, you guys are absolute savages. This is one big wiring harness that is gonna go up to those relay boxes more than likely, and take a look at this. So it was all zip tied up here, and from my understanding, we have one wire branching off from the main harness going to that fan, and another one to this fan. And you ready for this? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. The last wire was for the pump. So this is a legit plug and play harness. So good job, VMP. Thank you so much for not having everything spliced in and shit. So that's really cool. Shout out VMP. But I'm gonna go and set this wiring harness to the side. As you can tell, our heat exchanger is fully disconnected. So now we're gonna pull bam, 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 and homegirl should just slide right out. Try to get my foot underneath this. I got a jack on the other side, but this is gonna get really loose here in a second. All right, it's the last bolt. Oh, there she goes. You can see her moving now. And get this, I don't wanna lose any of this hardware. So I'm gonna need this for the intercooler, I believe. Lower this slowly. There she comes. Make sure we clip this. Hey, hey! There she goes, boys. So check it out, guys. This is how nice the VMP plug-and-play heat exchanger it really is. So this is gonna be our pump connector. Then as you saw, the harness keeps on going as one hole. And you have one fan, boom. Now your pump and heat exchanger are connected. You have your two relays right here. One relay is gonna bolt to the headlight bolt right there, and then one down there. It goes up and through into the engine bay, and you're gonna pull this bolt right here on the body. I already did it. and there's gonna be a ground underneath there. Just pull that, reapply it. You follow into the fuse box, and we have to pull that harness right here. So we're just gonna pull this bolt or this nut, and we're gonna grab that harness down there. You can see it's the 2-wired one. So the harness is pulled. I had one little issue that I think I figured out. So there was a line that off that harness ran up here and into the back, and there was a clip right here that was separated, and then both separations of the OEM clips. So you had one right here, one right there. Both of those plugged into that harness and got ran down. So what I did is I obviously unplugged them because I verified with a photo on VMP on their harness, and those 2 clips were indeed on the harness, so therefore it comes with the harness. It wasn't like added or spliced into anything. So I unplugged them, removed the harness, and then it seemed like those 2 connections just perfectly snapped into each other. So I'd imagine that's probably what was the turn key. So whenever I would go into accessory mode, the fans would fire up. That's my guess. And the pump would fire up, actually. I think all 3 of them did. So that was probably the turnkey, whatever. Anyway, but there we go. We have the heat exchanger gone. The wiring harness is all gone. Now I'm gonna go and start tackling inside the engine bay by removing both of these coolant tanks, all the coolant lines. We gotta bust the head unit off, the cold air intake, and all of it. All of it has to go. Both coolant tanks are pulled, and I won't be using either one of them because I'm going to be using the Paxton metal coolant tank that's going to sit right here. It's its own separate entity. So as far as those 2 coolant tanks, I won't be reusing them. And John, if you're watching this, which I'm sure you are because you're stoked to get this blower, this is the stock fan, right? So these clips they added, and this is where the VMP coolant's going to mount. So whoever installs this blower, show them this. They made a slit here, a slit there, and they installed these bolt clips, and that's where that tank sits. The one on the left is going to be your stock tank. So just wanted to point that out for you just in case you guys have some questions when installing the cooling system. And there's the view with the clips removed. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just pull all the coolant lines. So, you know, we have the main one here, then we have some of the VMP kit ones here. I'm actually gonna go and remove the blower belt just so it frees up some room into the manifold and the coolant lines there. So, go ahead and get that pulled. Now I'm working on the fuel system. So we're gonna pull. Ow, I got an open cut in E85 in it. Good old E85 went into the little wound there, baby. I pulled the coolant line, I pulled the fuel line. We have our fuel regulator right here. And now I think the next step is gonna be the blower. We got the side over there loose. I just gotta bust those 2 or 3 bolts loose on this side, and the head unit will lift off, which will then allow us to get room to the fuel rails. And we can pull the fuel rails, and that'll pull, you know, the injectors and everything else, and the manifold. And ultimately, that's kind of the whole VMP kit after that. So I'm gonna tackle this side real quick. So right now I'm taking care of our vacuum line that goes to our fuel regulator, and that plugs into the manifold down here. So I got it right here, and there she goes. So this is to the regulator, to the manifold. And now I think it's an appropriate time to go ahead and pull all of the blower bolts. And like I said, I got them loose already. So now it's just gonna be a fun game of just getting them out of there. And for the record, I don't have any socket Allen key bits to to zap those blower bolts out. So I used literally this, an Allen key. My fingers hurt. All right, I think I got all the blower bolts pulled. Whew, now it is time to pull it off. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I have the car on jack stands. This thing's heavy, I know that. Whew. Just so you guys can get an idea of how big these fuckers are. Holy fuck. This, whew, is a meaty bitch. Like, look at my body. This thing's huge. Garage is an absolute disaster, but making some progress. Blower's off the car, and now we're gonna work on the manifold, which is gonna be held down by, I don't know. I see these bolts that hold down the fuel rails, but to be honest with you, I don't know. Oh, there they are. So it looks like there's bolts right there, probably right there. It's probably like 4 to 6, so we're gonna pull that next. Disconnecting our fuel rail, and I'm gonna leave the fuel lines, obviously, but we're gonna get this disconnected. Ow, fucking cut again, damn it. Go ahead and unhook our fuel injectors. And as you can see, this rail will then, oh yeah, we just made a mess. Alright, fuel rails and injectors are pulled. Heat exchangers pulled, the wiring's pulled, the coolant tanks are pulled, the head unit's pulled, the fuel injectors and fuel lines are pulled, our fuel rails. Now we just need to remove this manifold. Oh my God. Alright boys, after 4 hours of filming, breaking down Blucifer, organizing, and cleaning up, we are officially finished with the teardown of Blucifer. And we made a huge stride today. As you can tell, the car is completely stripped. Heat exchanger, all the coolant has been ripped out of the car. I do have this coolant tube to still take out. I just don't know how to take it out of here. Maybe I'll just pull the bolts and pull that clamp. But for now, I'm just gonna leave that. That's like it's the only coolant tube in the whole car. Oh, sorry, I'm exhausted, but looking at the motor itself, you can see the manifold's out. We went and taped off just so nothing would get inside. The blower's off. We took the coil covers off because I am gonna pull the coil packs and the spark plugs. I'm gonna put new spark plugs in. I have to order them though, so it's no sense in pulling them now. So once those come in, we'll slap those in. We have our fuel system line back there. And over here we have the fuel rails, which I have to go and actually clean the injectors because it was 2 years of just grit and grime buildup. So I'm gonna clean all this stuff up. A lot of this is going to paint, as you guys know. But I mean, that's kind of it. Today was the last hurrah with the Gen 3R. And this bad boy's over here. Oh, and don't mind that, you know. But now we have the Gen 3R here. And this thing was honestly just so good to me. VMP has just been so good to me. Shout out to you, Justin and Rebecca. She's going to Alaska, boys. I got to get this thing packaged up. That's gonna be a task on its own. But going to Alaska, and here's the new baby right here, the 2200 SL. It's heading to paint soon. And below here, I have all of his stuff. And check this out, guys. This is why OCD is awesome at times. So we have my basket. In my basket, you can tell I legit baggied and labeled every little bolt. I'm just OCD as fuck. There's no shot. I was just gonna throw bolts and leave bolts hanging there, hanging here. And I even did the same for him. You know, I wanted to make it as easy as possible. So, you know, for example, we have the idler pulleys, bag 1 of 2. Yeah, so there's just, everything's neat. Everything's really neat. And I'm just ready to get this process trucking. And check this out. It is pouring rain. It's kind of soothing, I'm not gonna lie. It's very soothing. But also, really quick, I don't want to take too much more of your time, but Bills fucking Mafia, baby. Let's go. We just took the dub over Kansas City. Let's get some W's in the chat for Buffalo, man. Super Bowl team. Mark my words, we're gonna have a Super Bowl within the next 3 to 5 years. 100% locked in. As far as Blucifer, boys, I think that's gonna go ahead and wrap up today's episode. I wanna thank you all so much for tapping in. And I have to go and put it out there, I'm truthfully a little proud of myself. This is the most work I've ever done on a vehicle, and it's pretty excessive if you ask me. We didn't open up the motor, which is definitely like a lot more to it, but taking apart everything that's involved with the supercharger kit, such as a positive displacement blower like the Gen3R, it's pretty, there's a lot to it, but it's not too bad, honestly. And I just realized that when I'm not in a rush and I'm able to stay organized, take my time, and just learn as I go, it's truthfully not that bad. So I highly encourage everybody right now that's watching this video that may not wrench on anything, including myself, just try it, give it a chance, and you know, just take your time. That's the best advice I can give you, is just do not go into it rushing. And I will say, vlogging this whole experience kicks the shit out of me. Running 2 cameras while learning how to wrench, it's crazy. But thank you all so much for watching, man. Let's hit our like goal. I don't even know what it was. What was it? 1,500 likes, 1,200 likes, 1,000 likes. Just smack the like button. That's it. As far as anything else I break down or clean up, that's the installation, or that's the teardown of Blucifer. There's not going to be any more episodes on this. I got to ship everything off to paint, and we're going to Charlotte here in a couple weeks. So wanted to bring you this video just to show you guys that we're going to get this thing trucking along, and Blucifer 2.0 is on its way. Thank you all so much, guys. Have a blessed rest of your day. Hit the subscribe button. We're on our way to 200,000, which is nuts. So if you're on the screen right now, one of those that aren't subscribed to the channel but you watch the videos, make it happen. Subscribe, click the bell notification icon. My like squad, drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know what you guys think and if you're stoked. And with that, guys, I will catch you in the next video. Y'all stay blessed. Much love. Peace.